Okay, so you don't mind when I call you again next time, right?
Of course not.
When you do it once a month, it's like,
Yeah, you don't even have to ask Lonnie. I mean, I'm here. Ted doesn't know how to do it. so.
okay, all right, gotcha.
Neither does
So
this
you can't go on vacation. Now, this
That's
says you're recording, okay?
Yeah, you are recording.
Okay, so we're, right,
Adios.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody, for being.
No problem. Yeah, I'll call the meeting to order then at 10:08.
Everybody was just waiting for this to turn.
Oh,
No, that's okay, they can join. I mean, if somebody,
you mean if they called in
Yep.
on the number?
Or if you-
oh,
Wait a minute, Ellie.
did we see it last month?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who are the others?
We see.
You're recording.
Oh, yes, we did. That is true. Smile.
Liz Lee. Okay, just be sure to let everyone know that they're being recorded. Everyone is being recorded. Call her.
What, and
We went the other day. And I've seen
Show participants.
Oh, wait a minute.
that.
oh, yeah. Do you click?
That's pretty cool.
Maybe do we have to request, to join?
Nope.
We don't, okay. And this meeting is just others from chat.
Invite someone. These participants. So when I send out an invitation I send it out to the Council on Aging, you are all there listed.
Okay.
Like someone. So that's that. Show conversation.
60 years old.
Must be one to show like video. Let me see. We had audio.
The audio's on it.
Audio's on.
Sex stuff. Oh,
Oh, wait,
That-
right
that-
here, right there. There's a little camera had
Yeah.
the.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's 10:10, so we can call the meeting to order. Do we need to introduce ourselves where it's being recorded or not?
If you'd like to, I mean, doesn't hurt.
All right, I'm Peg Noguera, Council on Aging co-chair.
Earl Perlman, co-chair.
Ann Vandersloot, secretary.
Amy Wilson, Kent Senior Services Director,
Carol Cotros, treasurer.
Diane Howell.
member.
Important member.
Betsy Etzel, vice president, Friends of Mending Elders.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you joining us today. I don't know if anybody has any questions on the secretary's report, but if you want a few minutes to review it, that would be fine. I know Ann gets it out the first day. And I read it then, so if you want to just take a few minutes to look it over.
There were a few minor changes made from the original one that I say, very minor. One was, I thought they were only giving one scholarship to friends, and I had looked at one. And Diane corrected me that it was two $500 scholarship, so I fixed that. And there was a spelling error that Amy caught, these were minor.
Those are
things that I fixed.
Basically, the content has not changed.
No.
Okay, may I have a motion, please, to accept the secretary's report as written?
I'll make a motion to accept the secretary's report as written.
Thank you, Carol. I'll second it. Okay, treasurer's report. Carol, you would be up next.
Okay. Treasurer's report for February, expense control for the current month is attached.
It's the very last page.
It is.
Yeah. No, this is the last page, right there.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
It said March 9th, but I assume.
No, I didn't give you the print sheet. No, you should, that's your treasurer's report. I didn't give you, and I can make copies of it right now. The expense control report you don't have, but you do have. The treasurer's right there.
Okay.
Then we'll move on to the next portion. The COA gift account, balance $6,019.14.
So you're just gonna do, you're just gonna do the expenses and donations?
Okay, the expenses for the month were $224.58. And that's the report for February 2022.
The expenses was that like market basket or do you know what those expenses were?
I believe
That was market basket.
Market basket.
it was
okay.
market
I was just
basket.
making note of that.
Okay, that is the report.
Thank you, Carol. May I have a motion, please, to accept the treasurer's report as written?
So moved.
I'll second it. Giving the minutes to make copies, and then she'll give us the direct one.
These are your expense controls.
Okay. We'll take a look at it.
Oh, let me pass this up.
Sure, would you mind stapling to 2 sheets? Thanks. We only March, April, May, June, we only have a couple more months left in this fiscal year. However, we always show our budget is kind of top heavy in that a lot of our expenses are coming up now. We make a contribution to Tri-Valley for elder services. It's almost $1,000. Sometimes it's a little under, sometimes a little over. That'll be coming up. All the expenses for our building, for our custom alarm, for our alarm inspection, all those coming up too.
Can you just hold that till we actually see it, so we
Yep.
we know what the figure is we're looking at
Yep,
at the beginning?
Absolutely.
Thanks. She can share, she can look out with them, though. She's.
And as you all know, the price of oil has gone up, so we filled our
Thank you,
tank.
Carol.
We've been filling our tank, not quite monthly, but we don't keep the center that overly warm. We turn it down, you know, when we're not there, but you can see over on the left-hand side, not the far left, but the left-hand side, his current month total expended.
Yep.
That's where anything that we spent in February is listed there. So we had $103.27 for gas for the van. We had $513 down below, 87 cents for oil. That would have been oil from probably from January that we paid in February. Same thing with the van, that would be gas for January that we paid in December.
For the price of the car.
Yes, yes, and then supplies, so. Got our total expenditures, $990.36 for that month. Of our town accounts, and then way over to the right, you see that we still have $11,221.99.
All right, so this is the number that we're looking at.
Yep.
We have a few months left.
We're in really good shape, but that's, again, some of those big bills are gonna start coming in.
Okay, and those bills, you give me a list of those bills again that you said.
So most of them pertain to the building. You've got custom alarm has 2 bills, one to just service our alarm during the year, and one to come in and do a physical inspection, and they're both about $500, a little bit under, a little bit over.
We're looking at least 1,000.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of money to get us through the van. We're gonna have a couple more months of gas for the van. We're gonna have a couple more payments for oil for the building. And then supplies, things like that, a lot of toner for our computers and things like that. So we'll be in good shape. We'll be in good shape.
You said something about Tri-Valley.
Yeah, so Tri-Valley, so they're on here. They're on here, it's called Senior Home Care. It's closer to the middle, and we've got $1,000 budgeted. Sometimes Tri-Valley will send us a bill for $939, which is the 2010 census number of seniors. Sometimes they'll use a different number from UMass, which they're allowed to do, and that's usually higher. That's a production amount for a senior. It's in this case, it's $1 per senior. Our state grant is going to be $12 per senior. So this case, we pay $1 to Tri-Valley, and that's a small amount to pay for the service that Tri-Valley brings into our town, our seniors. So I think the long and short of it is we're in very good financial shape. And our salaries are good too, because again, we didn't have Melissa till later in the fiscal year. So we're gonna have money that we're gonna be giving back most likely.
That's fine, but is there anything we're gonna need to purchase now that we are really reopening our doors again? I mean, you have to think about items that you may need.
Well, one thing I'm looking at, but well, you have to, if you don't have to, but if you stay within the confines of this, you look at supplies, or if you look at one of the things I'm looking at is new furniture for the upstairs office. The furniture up there is file cabinets don't lock, which is why we've got a locks on the door.
That's a privacy, that's a
Yeah.
privacy issue. That's something that we should spend
Yeah,
money
so-
on.
The desk that I had purchased previously, and the rep had insisted it was right angle, left angle, whatever side it was supposed to be there. It was not, and unfortunately, it's not working out for that office. So we had someone come in and give us, I haven't looked at the estimate yet, to give us an estimate on a new desk and filing cabinets for that office. So that'll be something that can either be paid out of here or perhaps our state grants.
And perhaps the town could use the supplies that we're not gonna keep. In other words, you're gonna wanna move that furniture out.
That,
The
but you know
file
what?
cabinets. Are they really bad?
They're junk.
Okay.
They're junk. They're literally, they've been there probably 20 something years. The filing cabinets, they're warped. Like I said, they don't
All
lock.
right.
The desk is warped, and it didn't, originally it was supposed to come with an L and have a nice locking drawer here and a locking drawer there. Because the L was reversed, we couldn't use part of it, so we lost out on that drawer. The other drawer is unfortunately warped, and I did try to get our money back, and I wasn't, that was a couple of years
All
back.
right, well, then that's something to look into and spending that money on. that, because that's something we have to have the privacy. You have to have
Absolutely.
people's information locked up.
Yes. So yeah, so we're in good shape financially, and yep, I'll keep you abreast, in the coming months. May will be the telltale month when a lot of those bills come in, and we'll really fine tune where we're at in the budget process. So.
One thing we really want to be cognizant of too is oil this morning got delivered to my house $5.40 a gallon.
I called her
Yeah.
yesterday when I got mine.
And the gas at the gas station, the oil went up 50 cents a gallon today. And I was told it's not looking any better in the next few weeks. So
Yeah.
we really need to be aware in our budget.
Yes.
We want to look into models. I have top energy
Okay.
and I walked in.
That was
cash
great.
Price for $3.39.
That was great.
I did,
I think a lot of them.
We
are
did
up
too.
with
I
that now.
had my way oil and I locked in back in
The
August for
town-
the year.
The town used to do that. When I first came here, Alan Tatro was in charge of locking in for the whole town. And then that responsibility got shifted, and I don't know if it's come back to him in terms of providers, but I've never seen that we've had a locked in price anymore, which is too bad because.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it in years myself. I haven't.
Well,
This is such unprecedented times.
yes, it is.
All right. Do you want to give us any more information on outreach?
So if you want, we've got information here, a packet that's been uploaded for the meeting tonight. A lot of it is narratives. There's a couple case examples. There are lists of all the visits that outreach did in 2021. And then it also includes information you folks already have, like, for example, the annual report and the annual statistics.
We all have those at home.
Well, yours, yep, you should, this one, Carol.
I do not. No. It's bad. Oh, okay.
You have the next one. Did you grab a whole packet?
This is what it was. That's last month.
Okay, sorry.
That's last month. Yeah. No, did not get those.
I'll share this with you.
It's just the interpretation.
Yes. Yes, yeah, and certainly not verbatim. They've got this. This is gonna put into the computer. Hopefully, they're gonna read some of it. This is was prepared very painstakingly. Janet Hubner helped me. It really, the more I got into this, the more it absolutely makes sense. There's a lot that we're not able to do because of our limited hours. There's a lot that I'm doing because of those limited hours. So I'm doing pinch hitting and doing some outreach when I should be doing grants, you know? So if she has more time, one of the things we talked about was there is so much training out there, free training for us professionals that could be bringing programs to the center. She doesn't have time to do the training. We've just recently been asked by Hopedale to participate in it looks really neat, a memory improvement training. And again, training is free for us to take, and but it's a two-person program. So Nancy Mosier from Hopedale, our first outreach worker, has taken the program. She invited me, and I said to her, I said, I don't have time right now to do this training with you, but it looks really intriguing. So I talked to Janet about it, and it's a one-day training, but then it's a 4-week course for seniors, and it could be, we could offer it in Hopedale for 4 weeks in the spring and Mendon for 4 weeks in the fall. It really would give us another good program, I guess. You know, we're hoping to do the caregiver program from Tri-Valley, which we've done a couple times. We've done the Alzheimer's program for caregivers. We've done the regular caregiver program. And in order for us to do that, we need to either have the training ourselves or have other trained people. So by outreach having a few more hours, that would allow her to do some training and then do some programs. You know, so that's one thing. Our statistics really they really speak for themselves. They're pretty impressive. When you look at what somebody can do over the course of a year with 18 hours, 18 dedicated hours. And this position has now been here in Mendon for 10 years. It's been funded by the town for about 9 of those 10 years. 9 or 10 of those 10 years, because it was through a Chenard grant for the hospital first. But it's one thing that I found out, it's absolutely staggering, the projections for our increases in senior population. And they're really spot on. If you look at the old projections that say that were done 10, 15 years ago, we are right now where they said we were going to be. So now you look at the projections that are created just within the last couple of years, and they're looking like 30 years out. It's pretty daunting to see. Page 2, I talk about, our population has already increased 68% since the 2010 census. And now I haven't been able to extrapolate the actual census numbers for 2020. Now, remember how the pandemic was happening? I went everywhere on the computer, and the studies that I found don't give you actual numbers. They maybe they're not finalized, I don't know. But the projections show for like a 24% increase by 2025, based on where we are today. So, and then in 2030, a 40% increase based on where we are today. It's just, we knew what was happening. We knew with the baby boomers it was happening.
People are living lives.
So, and we've broken down all the services here. We have given real case examples. We've had case examples of people transitioning, needing safety, needing support, and then transitioning to other living circumstances. Those were 3 elder women, widows. And then we have 3 couples that all had one individual of the couple experience a stroke. This is again 2021, real examples. 2 of them took advantage of superficial services, and one of them took advantage of a lot of our services. Transportation, durable medical equipment, outreach support, referrals from outreach to social worker, to other home services, we look at where these couples are today as opposed to where they were, say, 6+ months ago, it's amazing. Someone who was in a wheelchair, who could not even call on the phone, that's now able to walk up the stairs of the van and call us to cancel service and not have to have their spouse do it. To see the spouse that's devastated and saying, we have to move, we can't stay here. Our house in Mendon isn't fit for us. We're the person that can't, maneuver around it. To now see them get the support from our services and having them rebound and in a very positive outlook. It's amazing. It's, Janet and I marvel all the time that another success story that Janet helped, she started 3 years ago, helping a senior who's renting an apartment here in Mendon, can't afford it, needed something more suited to senior living. And for 3 years, Janet has been assisting her with the application process and other aspects of her life to get in line so that when the time comes, well, here it is 3 years later, the time is coming. That senior has come to us and said she's gotten a letter. I mean, when you sign up for senior housing, you don't know where you're going to go now. Used to be, you'd say, I want to go to Mendon. That's not how it is. This woman had an application for Wellesley, for Holliston, for Mendon, and she'd periodically get forms saying, you need to give us all your financial forms. This is it. And that happened like a year ago. They go, oh, is she going to go here? No, she's going to go here. Well, she finally got the call. She's going to Holliston. And it's sad because she's been a very integral part of our community, participating in programs, volunteering, helping to lead programs. But we're happy too, because it's not a situation where she's destitute or she has to make a decision when she's under stress. I mean, granted, it's under stress to move, but so these numbers, the numbers show, and the numbers are consistent regardless of whether we were in the pandemic or not for outreach. We generally have about 200 clients a year. We're anywhere between 600 and 900 visits, depending, and visits can be, visits can be in person at home, they can be at the senior center, or they could be an escort. I'm very proud of what this service brings to Mendon, and I think it's a real plus for Mendon to be able to say, we take good care of our seniors, and through this program they do, so.
This is a very strong packet of information to look a minimum. Well,
Yeah, you did a great job with it.
I know.
Yes.
I hope they take the time.
I hope they do too.
I mean, maybe they didn't know they were able to, but really take the time to
Yep.
look through it. Very
So this
comprehensive.
is, you're presenting this tonight?
Yeah, that's part of our budget. So they're also going to go through, and I think I had already given you, well, we don't know. We went in with the same budget we've had for the last 2 years. And this was just, made a consideration recently, but so basically what I've heard is we've got a new FinCom. I think the only person I know on FinCom is actually Michael Amendalia. He was a select person when I was hired here, and he actually hired me. So I can say without a doubt, Michael knows what the senior center does. Does he fully understand outreach? Maybe, maybe not. But tonight's presentation isn't just about this, it's about the senior center. They may ask us, well, why do you need so much for contract services for your building? I have a list of everything that we do on an annual basis. You have to tune the furnace. Last year we put in locks. We put in locks, new locks and three doors. Janet's office didn't have a lock. We also last year we put in, we had electrical expenses. We put in the 2 doorbells, which are paying off. We put in outdoor electrical outlets. I mean, we took advantage of a wonderful electrician who was on his way to retirement, and he gave us really decent quotes, and did some good work for us. So
My senior center, that's.
yes, my senior center, you're right. My senior center, I think we're up to, I think it's $1,350. We're not using that to the fullest capability. We had just started before Laura left. That system has the ability to email folks, like say if Diane's leading a program and we have to cancel it. We have the ability to, send out a cancellation notice from there, but also more importantly, I think that the phone program where if senior center is closed today or something, we could send out voice. We just started doing that. We just took on that service before Laura left. She had really wrapped her brain around that. And I'm hoping our new admin assistant will do that too. So yes, you're right. That is something. The contract for the copier, which is something the Friends picked up for years, we've started picking up because especially during the pandemic, they didn't have the funds.
So they weren't raising any funds they couldn't.
Exactly, right? So those are all things, if they look at this and they say, well, why do you do this? Or why, we're looking at the line item, why did, you spent less last year or you spent more? They might do that, We'll see. So I've looked back, we've probably got stats for about 5 years back. In case they wanna.
Did the town say where the extra money is coming from to allow organizations to make these additional?
Well, what I was told is that the schools aren't out putting in a big ask this year. I don't know exactly, but I've heard that they might be asking for like $200,000 more. So that's, and then they have to look at receipts and they look at, their expenses, but, what they also said is that unfortunately the schools will probably be asking for more next year. So even though this year we might be able to catch our breath, we might be able to take on some additional services, different departments. There's no guarantee that those things will have to be able to stay in place next year, which is unfortunate. So
If we got the outreach position, the extra 12 hours, it could be taken away.
possibly, I think what would be more likely is if we had asked for a new position. If we had asked for a new position, if it was funded and then there was financial ramifications next year, there's a very good chance last in, first out type of thing, so.
What's the number of hours for?
Before benefits? 20. So that's definitely something they're gonna have to consider because this will bring this up to 30 hours. We pay 6 hours through a grant, the state grant. And it's a pretty big number. And they don't, even though the employee may not take those services, they still have to allow for that money. It's first year in the budget is what I was told. So I think it would be the wisest, amount of money that they spend for paying for the buck, this is a really very well-run program. I think and as I said, it started with Nancy Mosher from Hopedale. We did that grant for 2 years to build up our number, to see where the needs were, to see where the unmet needs were too. And hopefully they'll seriously consider it. So
We'll see what happens.
all right.
Thanks. You all set?
Yep.
Okay, Miss Betsy.
Thank you.
Welcome, and you can give us the Friends of the Mendon Elders report.
Okay, on behalf of Dottie Garso, who is our president, couldn't be here, I will read her report first. Permits for townwide yard sale have been received, and that's June 11th with a rain date, and she's following up on all the requirements of mapping and the police chief. Permits for fundraisers are valid till March 2023. We can have up to 12 fundraisers. Paid membership for the Friends is currently 49, beyond the current capacity of our senior center. Friends meetings are going well with more members in attendance. Monthly celebrations of birthdays and special occasions are held to encourage seniors to get out and socialize. She also asked that we start at 10 o'clock for the socializing from 10 to 10:30 so we can start our meetings on time. Other events are being planned and seniors are notified well in advance. There will be no meeting during the months of July and August. That is her report.
I'm gonna need a copy of that. You were going so fast, I gave a friend right there.
And I have a question.
Yes.
There was something about so many participants and that was more than the
Capacity, I'm
Yes, she
That's the
said
same
that
question.
49. We have currently 49 members who are paid.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, good
Yes.
point.
Yes.
Do you mean, did she mean during the COVID times where we?
No.
had
Our first floor building capacity is 50.
Oh, okay,
And we
Our
have
second floor is 25.
49
So
official
she's
paid
talking
members.
about, yeah,
okay.
that's a good point, but I would say in past years, we've probably had 100 or more paid members and, but that point was never brought up, but that actually is a very good point.
Yes.
If they don't come.
If they all came, yes.
Well, they seem to have had a good time, so let's hope we don't.
Okay,
Okay, the next report is on this scholarship committee. The Friends of Mendon Scholarship Program was brought to the attention of the members. Corrections were made to the existing scholarship requirements and they were approved. The 3-member committee was selected and consists of Pete Myers, Lana Mars, and Ann Alsing. The requirements and application forms have been sent to both Nipmuc Regional High School and to the Blackstone Valley Tech to the scholarship coordinators. Applications will be forwarded to me and I will be given to the committee. I will be having a meeting of the 3-member committee and we'll go over the required or requested volunteer service of those applying and suggestions as to what is needed. Respectfully submitted.
Question. It's gonna go to somebody either just from Mendon or Mendon.
It's Mendon, they're going to Blackstone Valley Tech. And
No, the scholarship itself, does it go strictly to a Mendon person?
I don't believe so.
I think it does, yes.
Well, I was thinking that it should, like,
It
I'm
always
just thinking
does.
that there are other kids who go to school that are from Mendon that go to school somewhere else, like Mount St. Charles.
I don't.
Okay. I think the amended student that goes, it could be Mount St. Charles.
Well, I'm just saying, how would they know about it then? If their school,
It published in the newspaper. The Friends usually put it in the
oh, all right,
newspaper.
good. I'm just thinking there are other kids that don't go to those 2 schools.
Yeah.
Imagine the guidance department was.
Yes, it is.
To get the newspaper out, so. Could I get a copy of the application too? So
Sure.
sometimes kids will come to the senior center or they'll call.
I believe I have one already.
And one of the
Thank you.
requirements is that they have to do
Is it each 20
volunteer
hours?
work.
Right, some
I'm sure it's 20
volunteer
or
work.
25.
We've even suggested they come in and train us on computers and our
Yeah.
cell phone.
We used to have that from
Yeah.
UVT. We missed that, believe
Yes,
me.
we do.
There's a lot of dinosaurs, myself included, that,
I keep, when kids come in, I try to make them aware of that. The people that started that and the people that finished it were the young people were very special. But when the ones that finished it and went off to college, they didn't recruit people behind them, and I don't want to fault them for that, but that's what always kept them going for the, I want to say it was probably in place for 15 years, maybe.
well, a lot of the kids that are in the honor society, they have minimal hours they have to do volunteer work for.
Oh, yes.
And as well as like the Boy
You have to
Scouts.
find somebody that's got that desire, though. It's, they're also busy too. It's incredible. But again, every child that comes through, and I've had kids that have said, now for my National Honor Society project, I'd like to do one afternoon, a 1-hour program on, computer tech savvy things. And I'll say, well, we used to have a class here. Would you consider? And they all shy away from that because it's a big commitment. It's, well, it could be a 4-week commitment. It could be 8 weeks, but we could get the word out. We could get the word out.
That's compared volunteer musicians.
Yeah, we did have a young man that was for his National Honor Society project. He was the saxophone quartet. They were phenomenal. So the kids are very creative and, we had Mr. Watchmaker,
Jack, watch me.
Jack, and others, but, yep, so we'll get there.
Hope so. I hope so. I think we'd like that kind of help. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you. Any other questions for Betsy?
I just, before we go home, I need a copy of that. I'll summarize it. I'm not gonna put as much detail in the notes as you've read, but you were going very fast and I couldn't keep up with
We
it.
have a copy right here too, if you can't give up that particular copy.
Okay, old business, food pantry update.
I want Carol to say just a couple of things about that. Carol came down with me yesterday.
Dan probably could say a few words too, because
Oh,
she's
yeah.
down there all the time.
Yes.
Yesterday, when I stopped by, I went downstairs with Amy and I was disbelieved that it is stocked from floor to ceiling, everywhere you turn. It's
And it's organized too.
organized there, but there's more food than I've ever seen down there, which is really a good thing, given the state of the economy and the country and everything. So looks like it's going very well.
It's going very well, between using volunteers, senior workers. Janet does all the paperwork for it. She does, tell us all the orders that are received and, which is great, which is how we were able to get our numbers. They all go into the system, so it's going very well.
There are big differences between the numbers to take advantage of now because of COVID. And the numbers that we used to have coming on the road.
The numbers now are similar to the numbers before COVID. During COVID, it was up there. We're up there by maybe 50 to 100 more depending, you know, so, but it's there.
Carol's point about the rise in the cost of fuel and also gasoline. You know, some people are going to be using their grocery money to put gas in their car or to heat their house.
And the price of the groceries.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
if you
and
can
and
find
the
them.
products, if you can even get them,
Yeah.
is constantly
And a
rising.
lot of people that had wonderful food stamps that were able to sustain them during the pandemic, that's what drew a couple people in recently and filled a couple orders this week. There was one of the families hadn't been here in months, and I've been seeing that. So I see the people, they had help through their food stamps, so they didn't need to utilize the food pantry. The food stamps number has gone down. So I had two moms come in yesterday, one single mom with 3 kids, and you saw the note that she.
Yeah, she was getting desperate because the prices at the night, food, she was getting desperate about food because the prices were going up so much. And, you know, a lot of times to lower the food stamps, that's not very good timing.
I don't think they foresaw what was gonna happen.
I wonder why they did that. I didn't realize they had done that.
Yeah. Well, they increased them so high though, too.
Oh, that's why then.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So some of our seniors over at senior housing, I'll put this on the record, used to get $18 a month in food stamps. And I think the rationale there was they were living in subsidized housing.
Well, they're not paying for the utilities, only a phone.
Right.
Is that correct? That's,
Phone or cable, okay.
yeah, cable is
So
considered a luxury.
Their
Exactly.
rent is 30% of their income,
Right.
less some of their medical deductions. So it's still, the rent could still be, you know, $300, $400, but yeah, but to get $18 is not much. During the pandemic, those numbers went up to probably 100, 120. And then to have it cut back down to 18.
Well, we don't want people to wait till they're desperate, especially
Exactly.
if we're filled to the rafters, you know.
Yes.
So I suppose we'll have to try and get that message out.
You know what? I think we'll do a nice, maybe kind of this article in the paper, maybe one highlighting some of the, like the family that just came in with 2 young children. They sold all their toys, beloved toys. They came in with so much food. They went and bought food based on the list we have on our website. They bought so much food that I couldn't believe it. Because apparently they've been selling their toys over the last year or so.
Ones that they're not using.
Ones that they're not using.
Yeah.
And what they came in with and they helped stock their shelves was amazing, you know.
Well, the parents are teaching them a good lesson there.
They certainly are. They certainly are. So, and then they even had $50 left over after they stocked the shelves. And they said, would you prefer to take the cash donation or would you like us to get, you know, other things? And I said, we have no flour, we have no sugar, we have no oil. So.
But I had the last sugar, it was to a family, it was one of those little bags, little 1 pound bags. And that's all we had.
That's all we have. So.
Well, the
but I
bags
think-
are only 4 pounds instead of 5. I mean, you know,
Right.
you're already got a shortage.
So I think some good PR on the.
Yeah, I think so.
Pantry, what it is, and you don't, you know, we'd rather help people before they hit.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, give them a nice little cushion, and then, because who knows, maybe they've lost their job. Maybe somebody's ill, maybe somebody's dealing with cancer, you know. We are still keeping our connection with Neighbor Brigade. Alana Bodio, I did ask her last night to please put out on Facebook the need for flour and sugar and oil.
I haven't seen it,
And,
but I'll look.
But so that's a good, you know, hopefully she can, you know, if she has any clients that they help through Neighbor Brigade, they can refer them to us too.
Mustard was getting low.
Yes.
Away some-
No, I couldn't believe mustard
I think
there.
there's only 3 left.
No, there's a community room up at the
Housing.
housing. Would you think about leaving some groceries up there from time to time?
They do that, and we really shouldn't do that. It's kind of, it puts a burden on the staff there. Again, small room. Yeah, some people have done that. For example, when somebody moves out, they dump their food there, and there's nobody there to really regulate it. But I will say that the seniors there, some of the seniors might receive food from the food pantry, and if there are things that they don't want, for whatever reason, maybe too much sodium or whatever, I know they put things over there. I don't know. A lot of them are being serviced by us.
All right, well, that's good. That's, as long as they're getting it.
Yes, and they're getting deliveries too. We have about each.
Have you had any more people wanting to come in and pick their own groceries out? Is that been coming back?
Just a few, and I'll tell you, it's helpful, I'm sure, for Ian, because the ones that do are ones that have big families, so, those are very time consuming.
Yeah, it
you
takes
know.
time. I only got
So
four
I-
orders yesterday.
I think we have like three. And I've asked folks that come in, I said, would you like this option? And some have told me, we like the way you're doing it. They're getting a lot of food, and it's good food. It's food that they've asked for. And I don't know if they came in, if they'd have the same amount of time to go through and get what they need, so. But I think you guys are prudent in that, putting it off for a while and then do like the rest of the world, do a hybrid model. If you want to come in on an appointed day, but it will have to be by appointment,
Right.
not
Which
like,
is
So you got a
somewhat-
privacy issue.
right.
but rather than having 6 people coming into a small space at the same time, you come at, 10 o'clock, you come at 10:30.
Well, you have to be down there with them.
I'd have a volunteer, we've got a new volunteer, Kathy, used to be Karen Roche, that's done a fabulous job. She is very willing to help out for that kind of circumstance for a food pantry day. And then Todd, he's a senior veteran work person. He's willing to come back, but he only wants to come back to the pantry if it's going to be actually helping people. He doesn't want to do the boxes.
Right, when he helped us in the past, he was a great help. He would help carry the things out to the car. So people coming in with a back injury or whatever, he would bring it out, put it in their car.
Yeah, so he's,
Well,
He likes to do that. Yes.
yeah, but he's, I mean,
had a bad back.
We're talking
about
about- well, no, but that's the boxes you're putting together.
Oh.
When they come and shop themselves, they're not gonna put together a box. They'll probably put more individual bags, and they may bring their own bags. But I think we're a little ways off, and I do like the idea of the hybrid model where people can do it if they like that way, and if not, the boxes are prepared.
It's very tight down there now with stock. And it is a closed-in area, so.
And that's something we could look into, though. We could look into.
It's working, and if the clients were all saying, when are you gonna let us come back in? But they're not.
They're not.
They seem happy with the way things are going. They like
we
us
should,
pampering them.
we should let it be. That's my opinion.
That's all.
People want to continue working from home, they can go back into.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they feel safer,
All right, and moving on to the Senior Center Architectural Engineering Study presentation, it will be next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, which is, what's that? Today's
Like the
16th. 16th at 6 o'clock. We have a time slot between 6 and 6:30. We have the select board then. FinCom, they're not slated to come on until 6:30, but I'm hoping if I make them aware tonight that they'll come a little bit earlier, so they'll hear the presentation.
Will it be, if it starts at 6, which is a half an hour earlier than normal, is it going to be recorded?
Yeah.
Oh,
It would be recorded. I've already talked to Dottie Garso yesterday about, I will, probably utilize Betsy to get the word out to the Friends. Plus, we'll have the Friends meeting next
Next
week.
Monday.
But to let them know that we'd love to have seniors in the audience, just for the effect, and for the seniors to learn and to hear about it too.
When is this?
It's next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday evening,
Our architect is coming down from New Hampshire to speak to the board,
select board,
select board.
And the meeting tonight is
6:30, and it's here.
FinCom.
FinCom,
Yeah, it's on
but select
our-
board will be there too. Anybody is
I
welcome
don't
to
think I'm
come.
going to come tonight.
You said
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Peg's gonna be here.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I would, but
6:30 tonight.
it's the weather predicting saying that the roads. are
I'm
gonna
getting
be slippery.
nervous to get me
Well,
nervous.
they may cancel. I mean,
That's what I just asked Laura in the office here. She said possibly not, because they could go hybrid or they could go fully remote. But
well, that's pretty difficult doing a budget remotely.
I know. I'd rather see them face to face. What I want to find out from these people is, A, how familiar are they with our services? Probably not very, but B, have any of them had experience with someone who's, approaching retirement age, or someone that's 70, someone that needs help with all you have to do is help one person with paperwork and or you can help yourself, and it's daunting, it's.
Right.
These aren't simple tasks. They're not something that they're
No.
once and done, including fuel systems.
And they get discouraged easily.
Yes, so we'll see. Okay, so that's next week. We'd love to have some, seniors here.
What time is that, please?
Next week is 6:00.
6:00. Right here in this room here?
Yes. And Betsy, I'll send you an email. If it's something that you could forward to your constituents, that's great. And then we'll talk about it next Monday.
And parking seems to be a problem.
Oh,
I'm
I
parked
was
over
just gonna ask that.
by the police. Maybe if we could carpool.
Where were we supposed to park when we?
I
came to
park
the
over
meeting?
here by the old tap.
I didn't know. I parked it with. the
Yeah, I
police.
just, there's a lot of space down there. You just gotta be careful of the parking lot.
They opened up though, that, yeah.
Did they take the berms up?
No, the berms are there.
I thought my husband John said he came to a
Well, you
meeting.
could go over the berm with your car if you wanted to.
He said they took it away.
I wouldn't-
Really? It's just a speed bump?
Well,
So it's one way coming in this way.
Not yet. It's, nope, it's not yet one way. You can go in, I came in this
Yeah, I
way.
came in this way over here.
They took the one way, they took the one-way sign down.
Because some of the seniors have handicap plates, and how many handicap spots are there, like 2 maybe?
Just two.
1 and 1 maybe?
I mean, do you want to consider the van or is that too?
Well, you know what,
intimidating?
why don't we see at the meeting on Monday, what kind of response we get, people who are interested. I mean, I don't mind even carpooling, I can fit people
But
in my
the
car.
back lot here is quite large, but it's still like, the parking lot makes me a little nervous. I almost twisted my ankle today getting in my car. Very.
Well,
Pothole.
is the van something we could consider? Is that,
I'd have to.
Well,
get a
which meeting?
driver.
we're talking about the architectural
The
stuff?
architecture.
I'd have to check with the driver, but would we seem too intimidating if we did that? Or-
I don't think it's intimidating, I think it's public interest.
I think honestly, Wayne would probably be willing to do it.
I'd rather the seniors.
Have them,
It's transportation,
have them,
making our
have
point
people
for the
park at the senior
seniors.
center, park at the senior center.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, and it would only be that short, and then he could, if he doesn't want to come in, he could drop. And, excuse me, the good thing is, we changed the clocks this weekend.
Yes,
So
that
it
was a
would be
good
later.
point. It would be
Oh,
later.
that's right.
Yes. Good.
That could be addressed at the meeting on Monday.
Betsy will be running it.
Yeah, and I will talk to Wayne.
All right,
see.
I would consider it.
It's a possibility.
As long as we're not gonna be restricted at 4 people.
Hmm.
Yeah, we've got to make it so that because a lot of.
Well, he
these
could do a
seniors-
couple, he could
Do a couple of runs.
But wouldn't that make an impression? Being going back and forth.
But that would be good to let them know that these seniors are using this and they want to use this and we need the addition of it.
That's right, Diane. Okay, you want to move on to the fiscal year 23 budget?
We're fine. We've already discussed it. So we went in with the same numbers. The only change we made recently was to add 12 hours to outreach.
Okay, you went over the statistics that you wanted to go over, or are there others you want?
So, no, but I don't know if you folks had any questions about them. They're attached to that outreach package. You all got these, I believe, I sent them to you via email. I thank you so much for those of you that were able to help me here and there with, making corrections and whatnot and comments. I appreciate it. And especially, help me. And also, I really appreciate some of your positive feedback. Earl, you always make me feel uplifted because when I finish with this, I'm like, I'm so done with that. And then you just say, I'm really impressed with because I think you said it last year too, with what we accomplished.
And he said, I'm so proud.
I'm so proud.
I know. It's amazing, especially with everything being closed down. I think it's very good.
Thank you all for.
Be proud.
Couldn't do it without you for sure. So the statistics, I get a little bit nervous because there's really low the last few years, but what do you want? The pandemic, our phone calls were really kind of up. We always taken more than 2,000 phone calls a year. They had been as close to almost 3,000. But the people that we serve and it's they're coming back. And the volunteers are coming back too. So I look forward to getting those numbers up there. Those have been between 40 and 50 the last 2 years. And we're used to having between 80 and
Who do
100.
you submit this to the annual report? The town-
It's in the book.
Yeah,
It goes to the board, select board,
to the select board.
and then it will be in the town meeting book.
Yeah.
How many people read it? I don't know. I know you all do.
We look at our page. Okay, you want to review the goals and events for 2022?
Yeah.
I think you had there was a paper.
Right, and it's just the same one I gave out last month, but I just wanted to make you aware that things are coming back. So I talked to Diane recently. She's part of a couple different groups, craft group that she's working. She had been working with Melissa on. Yarn Works, which is something for our knitters and our folks that crochet. And I want to ask, is crocheters actually a word? Because I couldn't find it. And so I say knitters and people that crochet. This is under review goals and events. So programs are coming back. People are asking for them.
I think it instantly doesn't come up on your spell check that it's a wrong word, so.
Okay, well, because I did last night and it didn't, my computer or the night before, my computer didn't like it, so.
The computer didn't like Afghan in the notice by last month's notice. I had looked at AM.
Yeah, but there's also a country that way, so you, comes up with a capital A on it, and you have to back it out and then put a small X.
Okay.
So with crochet.
Well, no, it's the Yarn Works group. Actually, I was working on the newsletter last night, so.
CROCHE.
Right, but how someone that crochets would be crocheter.
Oh.
And I did, as part of that, I did call Martha, and I did call Brenda.
Okay.
And I left messages, I left my home. I called from my cell phone, so I don't know something, how it comes up when I go to my cell phone. So I did call Diane from the senior center about knitting and crochet, and please call me back. Because we're doing Afghans, the local hospitals, we posted up, and then I said, and then we're gonna be doing items like hats and mitts, gloves
So that
for the sale, and the fall sales. And then also, should there be any needy people, kids that need mittens or hats and things like that, that we will have them there for. So.
And we also, the walking group, we're coming back, walking
Marking
group.
group, I'm planning on maybe like the first week of April.
Cribbage, I'm working on cribbage, so cribbage has been tough. Rich Schofield, former select board member, he stopped in recently with letters from the Mendon brothers of the Bush. They're doing a flag program.
Yes.
They,
It was on Facebook again.
yeah, so he stopped in and he's been in before to play cribbage with our folks. And we've had some people come in to play cribbage, but then there's nobody there. So I said to him, I mean, we've started Scrabble, and Scrabble, actually, you've got it. It was Jim Buckley who said, let's start Scrabble. You need to have that one point person and then build from there. And it's going pretty well. I think we've only had one week where, I think this week we didn't think we'd have enough people.
Right, yeah, because none of us were showing up except for Jim.
Except for Jim. But then he came anyway to do his history program, so that was good. So I really would love to get cribbage back, because I feel bad when somebody kind of pops in and there's no one to play. So Rich Schofield is a cribbage player. He's been there before, so he's committing the next 8 Mondays playing cribbage. So I'm going to advertise that, and hopefully we'll get a few folks in and get it back on, back on track.
What about classes?
Sure. Actually, you know what? That's a really good point. I like that.
I played cribbage
Do you know
when I
what?
was a teenager.
Do you know what? That's the capacity we'll use Rich in. You can teach people and then you can also play. I love that. Didn't even think of that. Our girls, my husband and I, our girls play. They're teaching people cribbage all over the place. My older daughter's in a league up in the Salem area. The younger daughter has more cribbage boards than anybody should have. She's up in college teaching. The only thing she won't do is start a cribbage club up there. I keep saying cribbage club. She started a club, but not cribbage. So it's coming. It's making a comeback, and I hope it makes a comeback at the senior center. Before my time there, I heard that there were often 3 tables of cribbage players. You know, when I came there were two, you know, and they'll either play one-on-one or they'll play three together or they play teams. So it'd be good to get things like that back. So those aren't goals or events, but I just want to let you know that programs are coming back and,
You can see by the list how full it is. It's a lot.
we're getting there.
Good.
We're getting there. So, and if you know, I think the big thing too is I want to make people feel comfortable if, you know, I don't know, Diane, if it was you that came to us and said, what about a meeting group? But want people to feel comfortable saying, just like at college, you know, hey, we'd like to start a club or a craft or a program. We've got the space. It's just a matter of kind of, you know, figuring out day and time and we can do it.
Oh, at the very beginning of the knitting group, I think that was Al came in and made the suggestion and
Okay.
then we all joined up, and she was going to be teaching crocheting and things like that. And then those of us who already knew, we just joined right in with them.
Yep.
You know, of course, because of the pandemic, we tried having it outside, but then it just got down. There's only a couple of us and then that just stopped.
Yeah, figured out. So, just so you know too, I try to do one, entertainment program a month. And so, this month, of course, the Friends are funding the Irish program from Orchestra of One, Susan McLeod. And, then next month we have, oh gosh, I can't wait for this, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We have a entertainer, performer, Cheryl Fay. So that's going to be next month. It's not a musical one, but then the following month we haven't picked the date for the minstrels. We'll have the minstrel, and then we also have Tommy Rule, I think is his name. He's a cultural council grant performer, and he does like a kind of a blast from the past. You name the artist, he'll do it. You know, Frank Sinatra, Pauling.
That's in May, you said?
Yeah.
Because
I
you got,
finally got that pinned down.
you got Roger Tinkin.
Oh, no, see, this is
Oh,
a prior one, just for example.
oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So, so he's gonna be May, it's gonna be Tommy Rule. And he is, I believe, the 25th. And when the newsletter comes out, it's gonna have, save the date for all these things.
When do you expect the first one to?
She's working on it as we speak, so today's her day off, so to speak, but again, I have to protect her so she has time at the center, and it's hard, which means, you know, so that's why I've, you know, like having senior workers as a buffer. So this week, it was Monday, I sent Melissa upstairs, you know, and I helped run interference so that she could have peace and quiet to work on it, and we worked on it together too. Oh, yeah, that's what she's working on right now. Yeah, so she's not familiar with Publisher, the program Publisher. She's a Mac user, and it's like if I were to go on a Mac and try to do something on a Mac, it's a whole different way of thinking. So she's learning the system as well as learning what we have for content. So last night I spent, yesterday actually, last night I spent, you know, quite some time putting together a mock write-up of April. And she already has some of it. She knows what some of the regular things are. So I put the mock write-up for her, send it to her. And that's what I do with Laura too. I'd feed her the information and then she would, you know, and what they're supposed to do, what she can do too, is she can research things that are important, say in the month of April, you know, that might be pertinent for you seniors and whatnot. So it's coming along. So I'm hoping, I was going to ask her if I could have a proof over the weekend. Because our deadline is technically the 17th. For us to have it sent off to LPI so that we can have it back in our hands around the 26th, 27th and get it mailed out to you all. So, cross your fingers.
Okay,
Did you, and beyond this, is there anything that you'd like to offer? That you like, and do you want to do the cookout this summer? Or do you want to just wait another month or two to decide?
well, thanks. I don't mind doing it. Earl and I do the cooking.
Okay.
July.
July. Okay, and in-person senior tea, are you good with that?
Yeah,
And that I usually do last weekend in July, first weekend in August, depending upon my schedule. I'm going away 2 weeks in August to Maine.
we don't meet in August either, so we should Obviously, we don't usually,
Right, we don't need an August. You guys always threaten to come up to
In
see.
terms of the hookup,
Yes,
are we going to open it up to everybody or limit it to a small number?
you tell me. I mean,
But that's super important.
Yeah, we usually
we
get
could always do the grab and go too.
You didn't invite we always invite the packs and the,
Yeah, we
anyway, they take up.
You're right, we can't have that full capacity, we can't, we shouldn't. I shouldn't say we can't, we should. I wish we had more space to do something outdoors,
that's
We
what
got
the
the
big
big
tent,
we had picnic tables.
well, we got that big tent.
Not that big, but. Our regular maroon one,
Is that the one that the Friends bought?
beautiful.
We could have some in the tent and some around the door.
We could have some in the bocce court.
Hybrid. The hybrid.
We have a little time to think about it.
Yeah, we don't mind that.
Maybe too, that July, this is only March, so we
Yeah.
can see how the
Mhm.
situation.
Yes, if it's stable.
Yeah.
Like if COVID, it makes a comeback, then I would not want to do the senior tea
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
have people
No, those people-
85.
Well, even if we had planned it, we'd have to cancel.
Yeah, we
it.
would. And I don't want to do that as a grab and go. I mean, the idea is to pamper them.
But we did it as a grab and go last year.
Did you? I
Yeah,
wasn't here for that.
yeah, it was pretty nice. Actually, sometime come see, we still have one or two bags. I don't know that they're fully complete, but we did really nice gift bags. Janet and I were there. They came through the parking lot. We handed them off to them and I was hoping to get away from those types of things just because that's a lot of coordination too. I mean, Diane helped. You had the tea bags and all that and the Friends helped pay for it. The Friends were great throughout both years of the pandemic, as you all know.
They've been very generous.
Matching us,
Appreciate it.
for all those things, those special things, but we'll,
Do you want to pick some tentative dates or not? You said you usually do the tea, like the last week of July. We'd want to break up the time though between the cookout and the tea.
Well, you said we did the 16th for the cookout. Are these the old dates?
Yes.
That's
These
like,
are the old days.
yeah.
If you look at the top, that's from 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the last time we did it, just a week difference between the
It was just.
Yes.
16.
Yeah.
I think that year my landlady and me let us go in a week early, so that's why that happened. Let's see. Sorry, I just had a. Yeah, she's there.
Well, the senior teas are Sunday always, right?
Yes.
Well, the 31st.
So, yeah, my vacation is the 6th through, the 20th. So I certainly could do it on the 31st of July.
All right, why don't we pencil that in and the senior tea? Cookouts any day of the week, right?
Yeah, I think sometimes we do Wednesdays, sometimes we did Thursdays. I think it kind of depended, but I'm okay with either, I guess. Do you folks have a
If
preference?
you did Thursday, that would give the crew that works the Tri-Valley lunch.
Yeah,
You give them the day off.
they actually,
They could help, especially if it's a grab and go.
well, okay, oh yeah, they could do that. Or because in the olden days, they used to come. They used to like Janet and it would be Janet and her crew. Janet
Well,
and
that's
her-
fine. You know,
But yeah, you're right too. They could
but
help.
why don't we pick a Thursday then?
Do you want to do the 14th or the 21st?
Say the 14th.
Yeah.
As the
So we'll not place those folks to the team.
Yeah, that makes.
Okay, so this is tentative and it's the
Yep.
cookout. All right, we can
July
discuss,
14th.
yeah, Thursday.
All right, I gotta get the date for the minstrels for May.
So we don't have a date yet.
So we did confirm that it was like a second.
I think you had said that. That's typically what she did. But we weren't sure what we would do about food.
Yeah.
Usually we had a potluck that drew a lot of people. What do we do? And I had mentioned, we could always do pizza and salad. Something different and simple. But it's nice to have something different, Tri-Valley is okay, but.
And progressive yard sale is what day?
June 11th, or 11th and 12th, I think.
June 11th with a rain date.
So,
Yeah, it's
What was the date again?
the 11th of June, and the rain date would be the 12th.
Oh, yes.
I did send something to the paper for nominations for senior of the year. I think last year I was a little bit late. It just kind of was a little bit of a crunch. So this year it should, we should have plenty of time to get nominations. That's, you know, let's see. August, I don't know, we've traditionally done an ice cream social with entertainment. We're pretty flexible. I know we've got a magician, we've got singers. That I usually do when I come back from my vacation. Do folks want to tentatively talk about doing that, like on either the 24th or the 31st?
What do you know, with the few things that are starting up right now, you know, have you had good turnout?
Oh, it's slow starting exercise.
Being nervous?
No, I think the energy is people want to be there. But the biggest confusing thing, I've got to do something about the sign outside. People are like, do I have the mask on or do I have it off? You know, it's people want to come, and people, yesterday, I've got 2 new participant volunteers that, you know, came yesterday, have filled out, one's filled out our application in our Corey form. And you can feel it. People are, you know, they're coming back.
Well, now, I know you took the sign off the door for the mask. I think.
It's still there. Well, we put one back on in January because we had that
Right.
spike. So
But I think, don't you think it should be optional?
Yeah.
If somebody feels nervous and they
Yeah.
want to have a
Yep.
mask on,
yes,
but not required.
yes. And I think that's going to be the case.
Mhm.
That's going to continue to be the case. So I will do that. I'll put optional sign there. But yeah, so let's consider, you know, I'd like to consider an ice cream social for,
August.
yeah, if we did it on, say, the 24th, I mean, I'll just be coming back from vacation. That's not a big deal. Sometimes the kids, that's been one where we've had the teenagers come and help serve, but sometimes they might be back to school. I think BBT goes back.
EDT goes back a week earlier than everybody
Yeah.
else.
So, you know, so it might be, we see, you know, seniors and volunteers doing that. Either the 24th or the 31st, and the 31st could be kind of like saying goodbye to summer. I don't know if everybody has a preference on those dates. It's 31st, that's not Labor Day. Labor Day is in September.
Labor Day isn't until like the 5th.
Yep, you're right. Labor Day is the 5th.
Well, why don't we go with the 24th, and so we don't run into anybody with Labor Day issues.
The 24th?
Right, ice cream social. And you're gonna think about entertainment, we still have a few times.
Yeah, we have,
Do we have any more of the cultural council money?
no, we've already got 3 grants and
Okay,
they're mostly this spring, which one of them, we have another grant that's not till fall, but that's an exercise class.
well, if the yard sale is very successful, we could always ask to have the friends contribute to an entertainer for the,
They've already budgeted for it.
they did, okay.
Yep.
All right,
This thing that's down here in December, jazz band. I wonder if something like that, we could look into whether, for the entertainment, some jazz group or
Mhm.
group from,
well, they're not in school yet, that's
Yeah.
the only problem.
and they practice during the summer.
Mhm.
If that's true, I don't think we.
Yeah, I'm hoping, I think one of the things I'm hoping more than anything is that we can get the veterans program back on.
Yes,
I think, you know, we have a good attendance, but it's not overwhelming to the point where I'd say we can't hold it at the center. I think we usually have like, seems like, what do you think, Earl, like 30, 35? I don't
and
think-
we filled the tables.
But they're still, but they're not, you know, they're not on top of each other. We definitely don't get as much as we do for the cookout. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, you know, and that will, we've got time to choose the date for that.
Okay.
Veterans Day falls on Friday, the 11th, so, I would almost think, I don't know. Either we could do it on Veterans Day, or we could do it on like Wednesday the 9th.
I think it would be great if we could open up on Friday. I'm in love with
We have
the
a wedding weekend.
On Friday the 11th. Oh, yes, that's true. But it's nice too when we don't have it right on the day, because then, you know, a lot of the vets would take advantage of going to different restaurants that are offering, you know.
2022, what's the day of the veteran?
I'm
November
thinking
11th is the actual.
possibly the 9th. Wednesday the 9th, we wouldn't do it on Thursday because of the luncheon. So I'd say either Wednesday the 9th.
And when is actual veterans? Day?
Friday the
11th.
11th.
Friday the
Oh,
11th.
Friday. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I should-
11th hour, 11th. All right, so probably the 9th, and we'll have to let Marge know too.
Yes, and
Please.
we'll have to talk about, you know, our menu, if we're gonna do what we've done in the past, and Earl can direct us, yeah, we get our feedback from Earl, how the food is.
The, you know, going back to October, I know this is 2020, but you got Mendon Mitchell with a question mark. This luncheon, it depends on whether you want a Christmas program.
Okay.
We wouldn't be able to do fall and Christmas and veterans.
Right, we wouldn't do
all
three.
that.
We wouldn't do three.
That's too much. We wouldn't be able
Because the music is all different.
to- Yeah, yeah. If you think you want it, we haven't done a Christmas program quite a few years now.
Yeah. One thing about the Christmas program, I mean, I think that, isn't the music just so standard though? I mean, you know,
If what?
isn't
It
it so
is.
standard?
It
you know?
is, it is.
We really like the fall. I think the fall program that you guys do, veterans is for veterans. The fall, it's a really nice warm one. Whether or not we're having a potluck, we don't know.
I'm just thinking, so we haven't had a Christmas program
But I think, I
in
don't,
several years.
yeah, but does the Christmas one have to be that formal? I mean, you know, does it have to be that? If we just have a sing-along, I mean,
Didn't
it's,
say a single.
you guys bring it up a notch or two, but Christmas, does it have to be that formal that you can't do a fall program? Why do you have, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a musician,
I
so.
would definitely like to have the mission.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Stands up.
Yeah.
right.
That's nice.
Right, I think that's good. That adds a lot to it.
We still have time to talk about it, I suppose, you can talk to Marge, see what she says. She might dictate something too, or she might say, well, I won't be available in October.
She doesn't believe in any acapella singing for us because she thinks we go flat and we don't keep the tune and all
Well, we
that.
could still have Dave, but I guess I don't know why does Christmas have to be so stressful, this Christmas program, because it's a lot of music that we know. I mean,
Well, we wouldn't have to appear there as the minstrels. We could just be right at the tables.
Right,
You know, November 9th, you said,
right. What do you think about that?
we have a COA meeting.
Okay,
Oh,
so maybe we do we've done it before with the COA meeting the week before.
Yeah, I'll just looking at the calendar.
yeah, we can move our COA meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to have the breakfast too far away from the actual day
No.
either. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I definitely think that the week before for veterans would be fine.
We're going to move the COA meeting.
We're moving the COA
To the
meeting into the second. Thank you for saying that, Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Plus the second one, the COA.
Of November, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have time to talk about all of
Yeah,
the issues
sure.
anyway.
But it's good, it's a good start. So, you know, when it comes to say looking for entertainment and things and, it's good. Appreciate your time on that.
All right, so should we move on to the new business?
Sure.
Okay, Amy, well, you have the Small and Rural Senior Center Conference Wednesday, May
Folks would
4th.
like to come to that.
I would like to go.
Anyone else?
I don't feel like.
When is it? When is it?
It's
May 4th.
Wednesday, May 4th.
Oh, no.
The thing is once we pay for the first person, I think everybody else is $10 after that, so you could
It's-
even wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
That sounds very,
You've been
go.
before,
I
yeah.
haven't been for.
You haven't been in a while.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be
Yes.
good.
I mean, I think I'll go. I haven't-
It's on the mess, right up the mess plan.
I'm sorry, Diane. Looking. Pointing at Diane.
Call me.
Okay.
And would you like to consider that, or is that too much?
That,
Okay. You can, see if, maybe van transportation would work out for that.
Depends on how many of us there are, Are the drivers interested? You have to find out.
Yeah,
the
Mark-
drivers are interested.
Mark has gone before, but the other thing, right now, we've had, we get somebody that we've been driving on Wednesday. I think we could make other arrangements, so. We're doing okay. They don't need the van chairlift anymore, so.
In fact, the last time I went,
That's a good program. Oh, Melissa will probably go, and I'm not sure about Janet. It's just good. It's good to get out of the office, and I've talked to Earl, and Peg, I don't know if I talked to you. I think it's time for us to do one of our staff board trainings offsite.
Okay.
Choose.
Oh, you're translating.
Yeah, so I.
Nowhere with this, ammonia.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's too bad, because they've got good prices and good food.
Oh, wow.
We'll find another
You put
spot.
your request, I don't mind going there, but.
No, well, that was the only table that they had that was big enough for all of us. And then we did the greenhouse after that. That was actually good food.
and that's another problem, yeah.
That's never, okay. Well, I haven't eaten there since, but I consider again. Right, so we could,
I can walk there.
yeah, so we could do our training component, and maybe we'll put Janet to work and have her do a training.
do you have a date?
No, oh, thank you. That's what I wanted to ask you. Is I would like to do it sooner rather than later. I think it's important. I think it's important where we're just, opening up. Let's see.
There's always Lowe's too.
Yeah, Lowe's is nice too. Actually, Lowe's has that back room too.
That's what I was thinking. There is a back room there.
The one thing I say about Lowe's, they're good to us. They support the Friends efforts, and,
So we're gonna call,
it's a training. It's a board and staff training. Does anybody remember when we did it last time? Did we do it, Brian? Like, did we do it on a COA day, and did we do it right after, or? I'd have to look at my notes. So let's see,
I think we did do it right after a meeting, because we were in there, and then we drove to Blackstone.
Right, we did.
okay, so in April, we can't do it then. We have this entertainer, Cheryl Fay, who's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's going to be performing on the COA day. We looked at, oh my gosh, like 8 different dates. We had to keep changing. But so on Wednesday, the 13th in April, well, the COA meeting, and then right after that, for those who would like to join us, 1 o'clock up at the Senior Center, Cheryl Fay. So, I mean, there's a possibility, would anybody be able to make like, we're in April, let's see, we move into May. Let's see, I'd like to do it in April if we could, but May doesn't look too bad right now, but if we did it COA day, the next day, does that mean anything?
No, because we only rehearse on Mondays for the minstrels.
Let's see, but we have the conference the week before. I'm just thinking of Wayne and Mark and changing van schedules. That might not work.
What about April?
Okay, so April.
Somewhere in April.
So we will hopefully be having Grafton Job Corps that does our beautification pro bono at the center. They're either coming on, it's called Earth Week, Wednesday, April 20th, or Friday, the 22nd. So that for me means the 20th, it's not a good day. I guess we could do it. How about April 6th? Does anybody have a problem with that?
what day of the week is that?
It's a
It's a Wednesday. Is that
First
work?
Wednesday of the month.
Wednesday is good.
And I like, if people are okay with rolls, I kind of like rolls. I mean, I did like the greenhouse too, but I like spreading it around and.
Well, if they're supporting us, then we should return a
Yeah.
favor.
Does Lowell's have an area where?
Yes.
you can sit, have a group? I
Yes.
remember I go there.
Yes.
For the bars, the booths.
There's a room in the back.
In the back, for my daughter's birthday in January, she had 4 of her friends there for breakfast, and we were all by ourselves in the back
Well,
room.
maybe we could reserve it.
Well, that's
Just,
Well,
well,
when we went to the lunch bunch last month, that's what we were on the back.
do you mind going back again, or?
It's good, it's good.
I don't know if this would be more expensive, gone to meetings before, the back room, and often serve, okay.
where,
Oh,
That's able.
would they do it first, well, I wonder, I could talk to her. I mean, would you want to consider it, say?
Have time with the cycle.
Yeah.
How many,
Okay. No, this is a training, so we have money in our grant. for
Maybe
training.
in my own, at the final meeting, whatever.
How many people are this? That's a small group, isn't it?
It's a small group, but it's also people who perform and are on stage, and
Okay,
on camera. It's not just the one.
okay, all right, I'll find out.
so about how many people would be in that room?
Oh, gosh.
Is it that big? or-
I've been in there with the Lions Club the first time that they had a meeting and they invited me to go. I mean, it's a good sized room. It's a really good. It's the way back.
oh, I've never been in there.
It's fine. It's.
We go in to the right, and go all
Yeah,
the way
to the right.
Mhm.
I'll give them a call. So, April 6th, and I'll check with all staff.
Okay.
Yeah, so Melissa, that's Melissa's day off, but I'm sure she can make time. That's Wayne's day off. I'm hoping he can make time, because I want all of us to be there.
So you would say something potentially like 12 o'clock,
Yeah. I can-
11:30?
What do you think? Do we have a preference? 12?
Either is fine.
Oh, this-
It's only a half hour difference.
Probably will take a half hour or so before.
Well, that's true.
Well, we had things to discuss anyway.
Yes, we have to do our training right, so. Good, all right, I'll find out about the buffet. I like that idea of the buffet, you know, you can try doing different things. Good.
All right, okay, so mission statement, vision statement.
Okay,
Is that what,
so.
when you
I
discussed
thought
at
it
the
was
March
gonna be
meeting?
easier than I think it's gonna be today. We met 2 years ago, and look to the day. And there was only a small group of us. I think there were only 4 of us, so we couldn't do anything final. I have my notes, and I had come across them a while ago, and so what I did was, I highlighted in yellow the things that we actually omitted, we took out in the second alternative, because even though we came up with an alternative, we then changed the alternative. I don't know if it's for better or worse.
Oh, it should be quality of life.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Rather than
that's
all
what
life.
made her.
Let's see. And then once we made some changes, down the bottom is changes that were made again on that day. I don't know, it's really, personally, I'm like, the more I look at this, I'm going, I like our mission statement. I do, but, oh, yeah, you're right, it should say quality of life. But would anybody read that aloud so that we can?
Which one?
The first one, the very first, our current mission statement, which is of life, not for life.
Okay. Oh,
The mission of the Mendon Council on Aging is to evaluate the needs of Mendon's senior community and respond to those needs by developing, promoting, and encouraging new and existing programs and services that allow for enrichment, independence, quality of life, and the fostering of aging with grace and dignity.
And why didn't we like that?
I don't know.
That's very good.
That's the one that's in our newsletter. That's the one that.
That sounds very.
I know, once I started
It must be
reading,
the way I read it.
the other one is a little bit shorter, the next one, and then after we came up with this, we said, well, we don't like this and this, and.
I think we did like that healthy aging. I think we like those words,
So.
healthy aging.
yes, because at the first line, the mission is to evaluate. Well,
Well, why couldn't we say the fostering of healthy aging with grace and dignity?
that sounds,
Yes,
I like that.
Taking that from the other one.
I am,
Oh, I say add health in there, quality.
you know what, it needed that though, too,
Completely
the
right.
fostering of aging with grace and dignity was kind of like flimsy, healthy aging, that's, honestly, I really like it. in Pales feel that way? It's.
And I like the fostering too. Where is that gonna go? I think fostering of healthy aging. Yeah.
We just added one word and changed.
Like quality of life, though.
No, actually outlined it because of the forest and law.
What?
Because this mission statement must have
Oh, like
been
ready to
written
see that.
many years ago. And the quality of life for seniors, baby boomers, it's, people are living longer.
Absolutely.
But to say the mission is to evaluate the needs of the seniors. I don't know, just,
And then, well, and that specifically outreach does a ton of that. But we are supposed to be doing that too, which we do. We do decide what programs we're gonna offer and not.
Do you think
Start
that
16,
makes sense to
16.
At the
continue
senior center?
Yeah, what age are
I
they?
think we've got even people younger
the
than
mission
60.
of the Council on Aging is to continue
Yes, Helen.
evaluating the needs.
It sings in our group, Helen, I think she's 60.
Is to
She's going to.
continue.
Well, but she's been in the group.
Evaluating.
Continue to
Continue
evaluate.
evaluating.
That's a question.
Yeah,
Mission of the
that's-
Seniors Council on Aging is
that's
to-
the question, yeah. What is the age of a senior
60.
per?
Per the.
Statistics,
Yeah, state, Elder, Executive Office of Elder Affairs.
Is 60.
Census, yeah, I've got this census. one,
And
too.
for people with disabilities.
Yes,
So it's 60, but there are people, younger people that,
oh, yeah,
Oh, my son is gonna be so happy to hear he's a senior.
I know, well, I think a lot of the people, with maybe even on FinCom are gonna be like, you know. So the mission,
60 is the new 40.
yeah, really.
right,
The mission of the Council on Aging is to continually evaluate, to continually evaluate, to continue
what
evaluate.
other word can we use beside,
Is to continue evaluating.
Continue.
what's another word that we can use instead of evaluate?
Monitor, to monitor the needs of the,
I don't have a
Mendon
problem
senior
with
community.
evaluate.
So we're already saying responding to the needs by developing.
Responding to the needs of the Mendon Senior Center. It means, to me, it's like, well, it's judging the seniors and that's why,
Well, it's not judging the seniors, it's judging their needs.
yeah. Judging, evaluating. To,
become aware of the needs of the Mendon senior community. Respond.
Acknowledge.
because I think this mission statement was a long time ago.
You like acknowledge. The mission of the Mendon Council of Aging is to acknowledge the needs.
That's fine.
Acknowledge,
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
another word.
It's not as threatening, I guess. Does everybody feel about that?
Like acknowledging
It's a
that
thought.
I didn't feel threatened before. So.
the board or not acknowledge who. I was
So in the beginning, the mission of the Mendon Council on Aging is to acknowledge the needs.
No, I like evaluating. You need to be
There is another word I,
evaluating. What's wrong with that?
no, there isn't any.
Concerning.
That's a good word.
Concerning,
That's why we've been tabling this.
For years.
You know, I think we're really, I'm going overboard with something that already sounds pretty good. We're trying to take it back and
Honestly,
we might be making it worse.
I like,
Elsewhere.
I like throwing the word healthy in. Peg
Yeah,
suggested
yeah.
it. Honestly, that last line always, because I do believe in grace and dignity. As you know, I referenced that with George Dean, but something about that last bit, just kind of the fostering, I'm like, fostering grace, how do you foster grace? Fostering health or fostering healthy aging. Healthy aging is better. I think that's
fostering
Foster
healthy
healthy
aging.
with
Yes.
grace.
You don't need the
You're fostering aging, you know?
fostering healthy aging with grace and dignity.
I could live with it with just that added word.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
So, all right, so what is the final conclusion?
Just, we're gonna cross out, we're gonna make the or of.
Yep.
We're gonna get rid of the of, which is fostering of. You just want to say fostering healthy aging.
That's it.
Love it. It's might take how many years? What about the word the in front of fostering? Is that going to?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be and the fostering. Oh, and fostering, you're right, and fostering. Right.
And fostering healthy age.
So, Ann, I'm not gonna do anything till I see it from you in print, everybody, agrees and.
You want me to put this in the notes? That in there?
Yep.
Put it back on the last time.
So the continue that you were talking about, we're not gonna put continue evaluating, we're gonna just leave it.
Just leave it evaluate the needs.
Just leave it acknowledge, just that one out the window.
Yeah.
There is another word though, I'm gonna have to look up on the thesaurus.
What? Look up
Yeah,
what
I
other
kind of
words.
Yeah, evaluate, there's another word.
evaluate my needs, gonna come into my
Another senior
house.
brain section.
On the agenda,
What is a synonym for evaluate?
You were saying,
There are 35 synonyms for evaluate.
Oh, good. I mean, if you come to my house, to acknowledge the
That's
fact
39.
that she may need some help with instead of the other thing. then, yeah.
Judge, assess.
assess is good. That's a possibility.
Assess is really good. Earl, do you like assess?
I love.
He has spoken. He has spoken.
On the agenda, I think we should say the final resolution of the mission.
Will be next month.
Mission of the Mendon Council, okay, now, let's see, we need one more person to read it.
The mission of the Mending Council on Aging is to assess the needs of the Mendon senior community and respond to those needs by developing, promoting, and encouraging new and existing programs and services that allow for enrichment, independence, quality of life, and the fostering healthy aging. We don't need the
Yeah, right.
quality of life in fostering healthy aging with grace and dignity.
Yeah.
I think 3 years in the making.
We might have it.
Goodness. Okay, so we don't have-
I think assess doesn't sound as
It's
strong
Yeah.
as
It was such a simple word.
we're gonna
Yeah.
evaluate.
Well, I knew there was a synonym.
We're gonna evaluate.
But that was only like the second or third, that was actually the second. Rate, rate,
Well, that sounds,
check, consider, estimate, examine, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, we're going to examine these.
I think regarding the mission statement, I think we need to go back and I'll do some research as to what it's really gonna do for us before we even talk about it here. You know, what vision, what it means to us, why we need to have one. Yeah.
Well, a couple of
Does
years
anybody
ago, we
agree
thought
there?
we had to update it.
What?
We felt we had to update it a couple of years ago, but I don't know why.
Oh, no, the vision statement.
Oh,
I'm sorry, no, because I think because we tripped over our tongues when we're reading it and just the word healthy makes me happy. The word assess makes a lot of you happy, you know?
Well, I think 10 and 20 years ago, they did evaluate seniors. Seniors today are much younger and living longer, hopefully.
And we only need to assess now.
I think we should stop while we're ahead with the current mission statement.
Okay.
And talk about the vision statement.
Another time.
All right, well, we'll put that on next month's agenda.
One more time.
We've already used that brain power, have enough of words.
That was good though. Oh, I'm so happy because you know what, this is sitting at my computer like right here every day, staring, and I'm like, I've got to get that off.
I'm going in, she'll get it out to you today.
Yep, you bet. I have to, that's off my mind. It's like I go home, I do it, and then I don't.
Okay, it's 11:40. We'll have it on our table then.
Okay, we'll move on to.
Don't be happy. Don't say, my open forum is very quick. I've been invited to read at Clough for their reading day on April 4th. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm rusty. I haven't done it for many years. I used to go there when I was here. No, they haven't told me yet. They'll provide the book, so.
Is that on Grandparents' Day?
April, no, grandparents days.
September, no, it's, no, April 4th. I forget the name of the, I don't know, program or whatnot, but it's, many people from the community. And I think what they've done in the past, I think our town administrator read for them, and I don't know, maybe here, I'm sure the last somebody from the library.
Diane and I did a reading, but it was at the senior center.
Yeah.
I used to go to school with the kids in Douglas.
Reading day.
With the library.
Now, are they assessing that you're a senior?
I'm not a senior yet. We've got a little bit to go. It's coming.
Okay, open forum? Or would you have anything you want to bring up in open forum? Ian, anything in open forum?
No.
Amy?
Yeah, that was my open.
Carol?
I think we've covered everything.
Diane?
I think everything's fine.
Okay, I'll bypass you, Betsy. The only thing I want to bring up, and maybe we can put it on the agenda next month, is I would like to look back and continue the Mendon's oldest citizen, because we did lose Georgia Dean a long time ago.
Okay, so just to let you know, we're aware of that. We generally, we being staff outreach myself, we generally wait an appropriate amount of time. And Janet has tried to make contact, well, we made contact with the next oldest adult. The next oldest senior asked to be
Skipped over.
So then we've gone to the next one and cannot make contact. She's gone in person, she's left, letters, she's tried phoning. We're not sure we don't know the person, and we're not sure their living circumstances, if they live with, adult children, or so it's a man. We're gonna try to give it, one more, try, and then we'll move on to the next person. And so these people were all 3 months apart. So the one that said no was born in April, the next one is born in May, the next one was March, April, May, March, June. So anyway, we're gonna go down the line and hopefully.
Yeah.
And so we have the cane. The matter of if, we want to embellish the cane again, what we've done in the past is we've had the florist put a pretty bow on it.
Right.
It depends on the person, how public they want to be about it. Sometimes we talk to press and we provide them with, general information, and they get in touch with the family. Sometimes they want something showier. We have done things down at the senior center, where it's been presented there.
Right, and we've done them privately, I remember.
Yes. So they're in our sites. Janet's recently tried to make contact. She's
right.
she's gone in person.
Well, we can talk about this. I was just thinking, I know we wanted to wait until a few months went by, things like. I mean, we should be very proud of that person, and they should be proud too.
Yeah. But speaking of the people being proud, I don't know if many of you are aware Dottie Layton is in the hospital.
I know.
And I apologize also if we don't know, Dottie fell last week. She fell at the senior center. She actually tripped over a chair. And it was a day that we had blood pressure clinic, and the nurse was right there, the VNA nurse. The VNA nurse who came and checked her out. But she's had a lot of things on her plate in her,
Yeah, for the person.
her personal life. So she's where she needs to be. She was having difficulty breathing, and she had a lot of fluid. We had to be.
Where is she now?
She's right over Milford. She was coming home today. Just went in Saturday, and she went in last Thursday. I asked repeatedly, please call your doctor, please call your doctor, please. She wouldn't, and then finally Thursday, she went back from the senior center. Well, I don't want to talk about her family situation, but she hasn't been alone.
Right, okay. And I hope Ann Halsing probably knows, would send a card out.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's wonderful about that.
oh, she is so good about that. That's right.
All right, well then, that's it. The next meeting will be April 13th, and we are adjourning at 11:45. Thank you all for coming. Betsy, thank you. Always a pleasure. She's gonna make.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yes.